Okay, so welcome to the first video in the series of homeostasis videos. I'm going to focus this first one on the idea of negative feedback, and to use an example to illustrate negative feedback, we're going to be talking about thyroxine and how thyroxine works in your body and the different endocrine glands and the target organs involved. So just to be nice and brief in an introduction and give you a brief overview, the endocrine gland, what we refer to when we talk about an endocrine gland, this is what's going to end up producing the hormone. Okay, so this produces the hormone in question, produces hormone, and you have loads of endocrine glands all around your body. We're just going to focus on the maintenance and the homeostasis of thyroxine. And a target organ is where that gland acts. So where the gland targets or acts on. Okay, that's the first bit. So really, when I talk about endocrine glands, I'm talking about what is producing the hormone, and when I talk about the target organ, I'm talking about where it goes. So, for example, the three hormones we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about TRH, which is the first one, and this is secreted from the hypothalamus, which is in your brain, and this is a part of the brain that secretes a lot of different hormones, but one of the hormones it secretes is TRH from the hypothalamus. So the hypothalamus will be our endocrine gland, and the target of TRH, so the target organ, is going to be the pituitary gland, and that's going to be the target. The next hormone we talk about is TSH, and this is secreted from pituitary gland. The pituitary is also part of the brain. It's similar place to hypothalamus. For you, just know that it is inside the brain as part of the system, because the pituitary gland in this instance is both a target organ, but it also is an endocrine gland because it is secreting TSH. Okay, so because it's secreting TSH, it is both an endocrine gland and a target organ. And what TSH will do, TSH is going to act upon, so the target for TSH is going to be the thyroid gland. And then the final hormone in this sequence is going to be thyroxine. And thyroxine is secreted from the thyroid gland. And its target is all over the body. So thyroxine acts on multiple parts in the body. So we're just going to say many organs. This is quite a few. Okay. So if I can just get some colours up, the endocrine glands I'm going to put in red. So that there, endocrine gland, pituitary, endocrine gland, and the thyroid gland, endocrine. Then the targets, which come in purple, so the target of TRH is the pituitary gland, the target of TSH is the thyroid gland, and the target of thyroxine, as we mentioned, there are loads of organs involved. So, bear these in mind, because we're going to talk about all three of them as we go through. We're going to do a flowchart for this bit here, so let me just get this for a second. So we're going to start with 3. Oh, that's not what I want to do at all. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. These are going to represent the different endocrine glands in the body. So if I can get my pen back here, and we'll write in red because it's not easy. So this is going to be the hypothalamus. This is going to be the pituitary, and this is going to be the thyroid gland. So all of these in the boxes represent endocrine glands and target organs as well, because as we learnt in the previous page, it can be both. Let's get this pen up here. So let's just go blue and make this pen a bit thinner. If we imagine we're in a scenario where we have too high of a thyroxine level, okay, so our thyroxine is too high. To make our thyroxine decrease, what we have to do is we have to work in a negative feedback mechanism and cause it to decrease. So if it's too high, we want to lower it. And the first thing that happens is your hypothalamus is constantly detecting levels of thyroxine. And if your hypothalamus detects that the thyroxine is too high, what it's going to do is the amount of TRH that's being secreted, so you've got TRH being released here, the amount of TRH being secreted is going to decrease. So TRH decreases in concentration. I'm just going to put conc because it's short, so it's conc for concentration. If we remember back to the previous slide, TRH has a target organ of the pituitary, and the pituitary is now going to be less stimulated. Because we have less TRH, the pituitary has less of a stimulation, and so if the pituitary has a smaller stimulation, it is going to secrete TRH in a smaller concentration as well. It is going to decrease the TRH, so TRH decreases in concentration too. You might be starting to get the idea now as well. And if thyroid gland has now got TRH at a reduced concentration, the amount of thyroxine being produced, thyroxine released at a lower concentration. So the reason that's important is we started too high. And through these three endocrine glands, the hypothalamus, then the pituitary, and the thyroid gland, we started at too high of a concentration. If we follow all the way through to the very end, you actually end up having with a decrease in concentration.